This is the Cinema Nine podcast. You are watching it or you're listening to it, however you prefer to consume the show. Welcome in. It's me, Travis, and Eric, as always, but we have a special guest, our old pal, for his third time. That's right, his third Cinema 9 representation. And the movie he has chosen is Blindspotting, which we will focus on in a little bit, the 2018 film starring people. It's our old pal, Chud Bud.
Hey!
Chud Bud?
Also known as Aaron.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
Aaron,
he's
or
Aaron.
Chud Bud, but, whatever you want to. I'll answer to anything.
Welcome.
Hi.
Thanks, buddy.
Hello.
Excited to be here. Again.
Welcome back.
Brotherhood of the
It's
Wolf.
been a while.
And
Hey, what was
Thor.
the second one.
Ragnarok.
All
Thor
right.
Ragnarok. That's
Missed
right.
that one.
Yeah.
it's that too.
All
Oh,
right.
I think you guys were there.
Eric was not. We typically
Oh,
do
yeah.
Marvel things when Eric's gone and spare him that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I remember I was at work and I just kept getting interrupted.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Who
that
could
was so
forget?
funny.
Podcasting from work, just fucking
I know
random
Travis loved
dudes
that.
talking in the
Yeah.
back. Oh yeah, that's why
I mean,
you do that in podcasts all the time. Every time guests are on a podcast, you can hear people in the background talking and doing
Excuse
things in
me.
the background while they're at
Yeah,
work.
man, I got it.
Common.
I made probably a couple $100 while I did that podcast. It was great.
That's impressive.
We've
That's
never
what
made
we
a
want.
dime on this.
More than
That's the takeaway. We never made a dime on this. Yeah, I think it's a loss. It's a net loss. But we love doing the show. We're not complaining.
Oh, sure.
We love doing it for you.
Emotional
And we're really
loss.
excited to dive into Aaron's choice later, which is Blindspotting, which is I
Yeah.
don't know how well known it is or not, but we'll talk about that. That's how we do it.
For
Right?
sure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
It's agreed upon.
Yo.
Email show, cinema9pod@gmail.com. Hit us up with emails on anything you hear or see, just like Steve did. Steve sent us an email, our old pal
hey, Steve.
Stephen G.
Co-host
it's
of both of
titled-
ours.
Oh, yeah, right. It's a Save Talk Show and Small Screen Sessions. These are all shows available to everybody. Check them out. They're fun. This is titled Gorgeous Franju presents Visage Sans Nez. Visage Sans Nez. Yeah. No nose movies! Exclamation point. So he's got... I'll share this
Like
with you guys. We
Cyrano?
can all see this.
Is that what we're talking about?
Cyrano?
Yeah, Sarah knows
No nose.
Did
Oh,
Roxanne ever come up on the show when we were talking those movies?
Fuck is that?
So he sent in
That's,
this is from a movie I love, Evolution.
uh,
A stupid
Yeah,
movie,
that's funny.
Ivan Wright movie,
I love it.
2001. Yeah, it's a good.
Yeah. It's just
yeah,
fun.
he's got this whole bit about what the funny no-nose chimp. So Steve sends in this email about the lines from that movie related to a nose, and then he gives us all these other listings: Eyes Without a Face, Lank Friend Jellicoe as Skeletor in Masters of the Universe, the movie.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Predator.
I don't know about Predator.
Nose?
Nose.
I mean, I don't know about that one.
Bratz with the Z, the Dysmorphia dolls. Aaron, you ever see that one? Is that like a kids movie? Eric, you guys, kids movies? Bratz?
No, I'm aware of the Brats. And I've never seen the Brats movie. No, unfortunately. Maybe I'll bring it on next time.
Yeah, please do. Does Eddie No Nose from Baby Driver count? Okay, yep. Princess Vespa. Nobody
that's a good
knows
one.
the trouble I've seen.
That's a good
Oh,
one.
you guys, Predator. The Predator doesn't have a fucking nose.
Yeah.
Oh,
Which makes it a not. Oh, these are no-nose movies. Right.
is the
Oh, that's what he's talking about.
Oh, I wasn't catching on. I was just
Red
reading.
Skull.
Yeah.
Okay, now it's all making
Genius.
sense.
You're
Yeah.
a genius, Aaron. Yeah, Red Skull, Lon Chaney, and Phantom of the Opera. Voldemort. Yep, of course. Voldemort Crim. Yep.
Vecna, yep.
Paul Russ, new no-nos.
Oh yeah,
Eyeballs,
yeah.
Jazz Hands and Paz. Oh yeah, Jazz Hands and
Oh yeah,
Pan's Labyrinth.
Mitch McConnell in Pan's Labyrinth. Who can forget?
The no nose
right.
is hilarious.
Yes.
Paul Rust.
I love that.
New
Wait,
No-Nos
what's
is
Paul
hilarious.
Russ? Who's Paul Russ? Do I know?
This is
that?
a comedian, and the Paul Russ and New No-Nos were from Comedy Bang Bang. And
Oh.
he does these things. They're like it's a rip on Bill Maher. This is New No-Nos.
Oh,
Oh.
no, new rules. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
fun. New no-nos. Okay.
That's a
I
deep.
watched
You said that
it
is
over.
it? That's Guile.
That
Yeah.
was Dial, yeah.
It all makes sense now. Yeah. I get it.
To us.
Yeah.
We talk
Yes,
about
he-
that shit.
yeah.
all the time. We talk about that.
Well, you used to when I lived with you. You listened to Comedy Bang Bang all the time. You were big on
Oh yeah.
Comedy Bang Bang.
Yeah. Yeah. sure.
which I didn't. I've seen some of the show with Reggie Watts, and then I heard some of the podcasts once upon a time. But I'm not like locked in like you and Steve are. So
Yeah.
I would.
Yeah, I listened to just about every one of them for like years.
You sick fuck.
Like way back in the day, before podcasts were, like super popular. They were doing
Oh,
their
when
thing.
was that? Like 2002? Still in a room without a view?
Oh my God, yeah. No, it wasn't that long ago because I don't think I got into podcasts until like 10 years ago. And then I got out of them. I listen to like true. YouTube's a thing and it's better. Like it's all compartmentalized and all focused down to what I want to see and hear. So that's why.
That makes sense. That's what I'm hearing too. Yeah, YouTube is the number one thing that everyone consumes things on without a doubt, even podcasts.
Except for me.
So, except for you and I. Yeah, I don't watch or consume podcasts there, but anyways,
I'm always doing stuff. I'm driving. I'm getting ready for work. I'm always doing stuff. I don't get people. I don't understand it, but power to you.
I use my earballs. I don't use my eyeballs. So, when I'm in the car. So.
Oh, you use YouTube in an audio sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good. They've got YouTube music and books.
Right. Oh yeah.
That's what people are doing. I mean, they're sucking up their data. If you don't have unlimited data, you can get in trouble there. And I know something about that. I got hard times in Canada. Anyways, thanks, Steve, for the email. Anybody else can be just like Steve. Send him an iPod@gmail.com. Let's get into our quarantine viewing picks, our QVPs, which we like to share what we've watched or suggest movies or movies that are shit. Any old thing will do. So, Travis, as always, why don't you lead us off here?
All right. I watched a few movies this time. Nothing that, okay, I'll save the most interesting for last. I checked out Saturday Night.
Shit.
Yeah, was it Jason Reitman behind that one? I want to say, it's pure fantasy. It's like 5 years of history condensed into one night. The night of the first Saturday Night Live, like the 90 minutes leading up to it, basically. But you take it as it is, except that there's also some straight up like things that did not happen in there. But I think the casting's good. I liked seeing some of these people portraying. You look at it, it's like that's clearly not John Belushi, but
yeah,
Anthony Hopkins made a fine Nixon. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be dead on. So it was entertaining. It didn't blow me away, but it was worth checking out if you're a fan of that kind of stuff. I checked out. I revisited a movie I think you watched not that long ago, Mike. Just One of the Guys from 1985.
Oh yeah, Aaron's in on that too.
I mean, it's a classic.
It's a classic.
They remade it. What's her name?
Amanda Bynes.
Gosh, Amanda Bynes.
What?
Yeah, they remade it, and it's good. I watched it.
Oh, I
watched it like
confirmed.
3 times.
Yeah, but it's really nothing that. It's not that great. It's like there's nothing really there. Bunch of 30-year-olds playing 18-year-olds, but whatever.
Yeah, it's a nostalgia factor. Not going to deny that.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
she is beautiful still. Good God, what a beautiful woman.
Yeah. Who could deny that? Checked out from 1958, Bell, Book, and Candle. This is a movie with Eric's laughing pretty hard. What, did you watch it recently yourself or something? You're muted.
I watched it last night.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
I hit play immediately. You kidding me? Kim Novak and Jimmy Stewart and Jack Lemmon?
Yeah, both of them reunited. Like she's reunited with Jack Lemmon and she's reunited with Jimmy Stewart the same year as Vertigo. I really enjoyed it. What'd you think?
I dug it. It was cute. It was comforting, wholesome, soulful.
Yeah. And Kim Novak did not need any sort of magic to get men to fall in love with her. I'll tell you that right now.
Not looking good these days, but she's 96.
Yeah, I mean, not a lot of 96-year-olds are looking good. Checked out Pool Man, the Chris Pine vehicle.
Yeah, man, they pushed this thing on trailers.
Much panned. Bad reviews, but you know what? I'm going to give it a shot anyways. I like Chris Pine. I'm going to give it a shot. It's written, directed, starring Chris Pine, and man, it's not great. It's got 4.0 on IMDb right now. I gave it a 5. You
felt bad.
Well, no, I feel like it's appropriate. I mean, like there are parts of it that were good. There were parts of it that were really good. I mean, like his direction is actually pretty good, and the cinematography is good. There's one scene in particular with him and Stephen Tobolowsky, like about halfway through the movie, that's awesome. Great scene. But the rest of the movie, and it's jam packed. You got Jennifer Jason Leigh, Danny DeVito, Annette Bening, John Ortiz. You got a lot of good people in here. Clancy Brown shows up, but it's just like, it's Big Lebowski meets Chinatown again. It's just like more fucking water in fucking California.
Worse than Inherent
shit.
Vice?
I got through this. I turned off Inherent
that says
Vice.
a lot.
So that does say a lot.
Same
What's that,
thing,
Blue's Clues?
Stoners Under the Silver Moon, same thing, like Stoner on a Film Noir Odyssey.
Under the Silver
I like
Lake is
that
a
one.
very good movie. Yeah.
I love that movie.
I think that was a great movie. Yeah. But
The total disregard for old Hollywood is amazing to me.
Yeah.
And the entire film is about it, basically, right?
Right. So, and then lastly, I checked out this movie that technically came out in 2022, but no one saw it until this year. It's getting a lot of buzz. Hundreds of Beavers. Have you guys heard of this movie?
No.
Heard about this. Hundreds of Beavers.
Hundreds of Beavers is streaming on Amazon Prime. So as soon as I saw it, I gave it a shot because I've been hearing about it for years now. Of like what a trend-setting or like innovative, I guess, movie is a better word. And it is, man. I mean, it's 2 hours long, and by the end of it, I'm like, I'm ready for this fucking thing to be done. It's relentless, but it is fascinating. It's part like live action cartoon meets silent film meets art piece. I've never really seen a movie quite like it. It's really amazing. And you're following the antagonist as protagonist in a big way, but it's all just like nonstop fucking Looney Tunes style fucking comedy and hijinks, and it's just like a bunch of dudes running around in beaver costumes, and it is wild. It's a wild movie, all black and white, like maybe 2 words in English, like spoken throughout the whole thing. It is
bonkers.
It is bonkers. Totally worth checking out. I had to break it up into pieces though, because I'm like, okay, I gotta like look away. I can't just like be locked in the whole time. I gotta do other things. I can't. I need dialogue, something. I don't know. It's like an exhausting watch, but you've never seen a movie like it. So I would recommend Hundreds of Beavers.
Oh my god. Okay. Wow.
Got 99 beavers.
Oh hey.
You know?
You know, I missed last week's show, so I've got 2 weeks to catch up on here. I don't have that much to say. I mean, I am bummed because I did watch Scanner Darkly, and before I had to unceremoniously drop out seconds before like hit record, I was anxious to talk about it, but there's nothing for me to say. You guys said it all. You guys encapsulated it perfectly. Like, I just thought the whole time, like, it didn't really know what it wanted to be. Like Linklater's like, I want to tell this story about this science fiction Philip K. Dick deal, but like I also want to just like fuck around and have it be a stoner comedy. Like it seemed very schizophrenic in that respect to me. I was entertained by it, but like I haven't thought about it since. Like the what do they call the shape-shifting suit again? Fuck. All my notes are
Scrambling
wrong. The scrambling suit, like it was cool, but like either way, like just put like a hood on. Like, do they even need it? Like, just put a hood on. I don't know. You know what, dude? It kind of felt like a fun experiment. And Linklater's known for like experimental films. He makes them and he puts them out there, and you either dig it or we move along, and he'll pump another one out. So it was fine. It's not blowing me away. I probably would have let it pass just because you don't see a lot of films like it. And it was kind of a brave choice and brave. It was kind of an interesting something unique that the masses aren't usually given for the mainstream, especially in the mid 2000s. So yeah, man. Yeah, I dug it. You know what? Other than that, I've been trying to wrap up this movie I just put out today. By the way, so I haven't been able to watch a lot of stuff.
Yeah, congrats.
Yeah.
Check out my YouTube channel. YouTube channel is Slithery D Films. Like I've been told, just even though you don't like it, mark it yourself. That's out. Check out my page. But like, yeah, I've been working on getting that out. That I haven't watched a lot of stuff. I did sit through fucking 5 hours. 5 hours. I don't know what the fuck's wrong with me. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I know. This is like this is like
really?
This is like a who cares? Even the people that are inducted don't even give a fuck, or they don't show up. But I sat there for 5 hours and watched all the inductees give their. It's fun. It's fun to watch them like talk about like say their thanks and then perform. It's fun. I love Cher. It was
Where'd
great
you
to
watch
see
it?
Cher. She still sounds good.
It's on YouTube.
Did you on HBO Max?
Love Cher. No,
Where did
you
you
know what?
watch
That's what I thought because I went there. I'm like, I guess it's not on here. It's on Disney Plus. It's on Disney
Oh.
Plus. Yeah, but then you got like, you got to sit there and watch like the guy that like held the mic for like Jim Croce win an award and like give a half-hour speech. It's like, come on, let's get to the heavy
Sounds
hitters here.
terrible. Heard
Fuck
Jim
that
Croce's
guy.
kind of a prick
Yeah.
too.
Fuck
Yeah,
that
he's a
guy.
prick. I heard that.
Isn't he
Great
dead?
music. He's dead. Prick.
Tragically.
Oh, I was saying,
Prick.
fuck that Mike guy. I don't care about you.
Yeah, fuck him. But I sat there and listened to his speech. Other than that, I've been like, ever since I finally, you know, I've seen my entire box set of, in fact, well, okay, it's right here, so I'll get it.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Audio
By the way,
fans, be
if you guys
patient.
like movies, check out Slithery D. It's
DEE.
a YouTube channel.
Slithery
It's for real.
DEE.
There's, I mean, how many jokes are there for Slithery D?
Enough.
Yeah.
Just like this. You go to YouTube, click
This
on
is
this,
not worth it.
subscribe.
That
There
was
you
not
go.
worth
It's
it.
totally worth
But
it.
I did want to show you as proof that I do own the 12 DVD box set
Ooh.
of Murder, She Wrote.
I saw that when I was at your home. Yeah.
And I've worn these discs out. I've worn them out, so they're just as good
great.
as coasters because I've watched them all so much. Same thing with the Columbo box set over there. So, like, I was thinking last night, like, man, I need more like 70s, 80s crime, like TV drama. So I jumped on
Hey,
Tubi. Like, what do we
sorry,
got?
can I interrupt you real quick, Eric?
Please do.
I got
Please
something
do.
to tell you because about a month ago, Dana,
Hello?
Should we be?
that
concerned?
was. Oh, I'm
Who's
sorry.
that?
That was a massive, like a lightning strike, real
Oh.
close.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow. We
Oh.
heard something.
Did you hear it?
Esther.
Did
Yeah,
you
I
hear
can
it?
hear it.
That was nuts. Oh, Dana
Wow.
made me watch all the crossover episodes. with,
Oh yeah, dude. JB Fletcher teams up with Thomas
Watched
Magnum.
them. Yeah, I watched them all. We watched
Yeah,
the Magnum
dude, are you kidding me?
episodes. Yeah, we watched them all.
Great.
Like a month ago.
It's great. But I was craving. I'm like, well, what next? I mean, like, what do I do here? Hammer, Hunter, Heart to Heart. There's so many to choose from. There's so many
Cagney
to
and
choose
Lacey?
from. So I went to season
Matlock?
1 of Cagney and Lacey,
Oh my God, I nailed it.
starring Tyne Daly and Meg Foster and Martin Cove. It's awful. It's awful. I'm like, how
Don't
many
say.
I had to confirm. I'm like, how many seasons? 6? I sat there and watched several episodes last night because I couldn't find the remote. So I'm like, all right, I'll watch another episode of Cagney and
I
Lacey.
couldn't find the
Not good.
remote.
So
Wow.
if you have out there emailers, let me know, man. If give me more like Murder, She Wrote, Columbo. I don't like Matlock, but I need more 70s, 80s crime dramas that aren't Cagney and Lacey, and that will fill this appetite.
I got through like half a season of Designing Women. I really tried. Tried.
you
but,
tried.
I was just like, no.
Any pots?
Dallas.
I went there for Jean Smart after Hacks.
Oh, right. Of course.
Hacks is so good. I'm like, oh, let's see what else she's done. I'm like, eh.
What's Dynasty? Is Dynasty
No,
and
no,
Dallas?
no,
the
no,
same
no,
thing?
no, no,
I think
no.
you nailed the one that you should probably. I mean, I haven't seen it in a long time, but I'm guessing you should probably check out Magnum PI based on your record. here. You know?
You know what? It's been a while.
Either that or maybe Rockford
Donald
Files.
P. Belisario, man.
Oh!
The best.
That's it. Rockford Files. That's done tonight. That's
There you
it for me.
Oh,
All right.
that was
All right, decisions have been made. Let's
Glad I
go.
could help.
Lock it in.
it was Jim Harbaugh's favorite TV show, The Rockford
He said lock it
Files.
in.
I heard that
Mike,
the
could
other
you
day.
lock it in?
Oh,
The Rockford
yeah,
Files?
sorry.
Thank you
There
very
it is.
much.
Lock it in. Sorry. My bad.
Lock it in,
I'm
lock it
so
in, lock it
sorry.
in.
Okay. Eric, you like that stuff? That's fun. All that stuff just makes me think of like my
Feels like
dad's house on Saturdays or Sundays, and like I gotta
Airwolf?
go to high school. I gotta go to school the next
Yeah.
day. Just
Yeah,
like
sounds
depressing
comforting.
me. Yeah, it's not. So I have been settling in from the start. Kids in the Hall season 1, and I've watched
Okay.
first 2 seasons in a row, just going back in time. It's so good. And you know what? They give you 20 episodes in a season. And it's like, wow. Oh my God, look at all these episodes I get. Because these days you get 8 maybe, 10. So it's a real treat to go back to the Kids in the Hall season 1, season 2. I'm finishing up season 2 now, and I've always loved the show, and it's just great to go back and watch it. And it's as
Ooh,
funny as it ever was.
Hey,
As fun
man,
as it-
Eric showed off his box set. I have the box set of, Kids in the Hall.
Nice.
Complete.
I had that too once upon a time. I did have that, but that was like 12 years ago. I think I sold it for
Yeah, I got
drugs
the
or something,
DVD somewhere.
One of the
Yeah.
best shows ever.
Did they release the new?
Yep.
Laugh out loud, hilarious. Did they release the new season on DVD?
I'm
but,
not
I don't
sure.
know. I don't do DVDs. I mean, if
That's
anybody
so
does
funny.
DVDs, I immediately think of Aaron. He had like the biggest DVD collection I ever saw. So
Yeah, but then I haven't bought them in like 5-6 years at all. And
yeah,
I'm
right.
totally
Party's
digital.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no need to have all that extra shit. I
I
mean,
buy
it's cool to
Blu-rays.
it's
I do.
cool to pop it in. I get it.
Sure there
I get
is.
it, but-
I like that. I mean, I've been buying stuff that like is not everywhere, and then the stuff I watch over and over again, such as Eric's Murder She Wrote. It's kind of nice to like know that I can always watch it when I want.
Yeah.
Fuck
This
yeah,
crap
man.
happens to me. Like I bought Battle Royale back when it was still like a hot topic, right? Years ago, 20 years ago. And now it's just streaming everywhere.
It's
Same thing
well,
with yeah. And I
Big
bought
digital, fuck you. But even if you think you own it on like Amazon, you don't own shit. Big media will fuck you, but no one's taking away this season 6, episode 2, starring Ernest Borgnine from my hand.
Thank you. For the
what are you
record,
gonna do when it wears
I'm-
out?
Yeah. Oh no. I'm pretty sure that
You're gonna have to transfer it to a
Amazon's
VHS.
never gonna go out of business. if you buy a movie on Amazon, they're never fucking going out of business. So I don't have to worry about that.
Well, there are things that like they'll lose licensing rights and stuff like that, and it just disappears. It's just
I had
gone.
to when I got One Fine Day, I had to buy a used DVD of it because that's all I could find.
It'll
Kills
happen.
the
I mean,
dream.
it's a risk.
Tales
It's a
from the
risk.
Crypt
One
is
fine
legendary
day.
for that. It's never going to stream because there's so many issues with all the directors and all the Writers Guild. It's
Which
never
one?
going to stream Tales from the Crypt. So unless you have the DVD,
serious?
Oh, damn it. Well, I'll just have to live with that for the rest of my life.
I would like to watch all those again. Maybe I can find some on YouTube or something. I don't know.
oh, library.
Mike, you watch anything else?
I've heard some people torrent things, and that's just not cool, man.
Oh,
You
God,
know, so.
I don't know.
Anyways, I also watched. No, I can't mention that. Well, here's where I get to.
Oh,
I
here
can't
we
talk
go.
about it because I gotta bring it to the
Secret movies.
show. Yeah, and
You got
I'm
years
gonna-
worth of stuff just stored up and
I
ready
do.
to go.
I got one ready to go. I watched the other day. I can't wait to bring
I
it to
don't
the
know if
show
you can
now.
do this.
It's moving right to the front of the line. Actually, I can't believe it. That's how I was like, oh shit, this is we're doing this. So when it's my turn, I already know exactly what to pick. There'll be no hemming and hawing and wondering what it all means. I will be ready to go. So that'd be great.
Do something about that thunder.
Oh, I wish, man.
Last time it's
scary.
the coworkers,
It's so
this
loud.
time it's the weather.
Yep. It's not your boss on your ass. It's a major severe thunderstorm.
God damn it! Anyway,
Thunder. I could have used this thunder during the Thor episode, man.
Oh, that would make more sense.
Yeah.
what about you, Aaron? Anything you want to share with us that you'd like to suggest to the audience or tell people to avoid?
Okay, so I've watched one movie, I guess, in the last 6 weeks or so.
Good
And
for you.
that was-
That's a good thing.
It was the Netflix movie Hot Frosty. Yeah.
Oh,
it good?
wait, what's that?
Jesus.
Of course it was good. All right.
Hot Frosty?
This lady is gifted she's a widower or a widow, excuse me. She's a widow. And
Oh.
she's gifted like the
Oh,
scarf that her mother was wearing when she met her dad or something. She's gifted it.
He's not
She gets
joking.
drunk and
Chabert.
she gets drunk, she sees a sexy ice sculpture, puts the scarf on and it comes to life. Yep.
It's Lacey Chabert.
I was
Widow
just
Cappy
gonna
magically
say,
brings the
Lacey
snowman
Chabert?
to life. Yep.
It's
you nailed
a-
it.
It's amazing.
Looks
Hot
like a
Frosty.
Hallmark like Christmas movie.
Oh yeah,
on the
100%. It's got that lady from
Lauren
Seventh
Holly.
Heaven. Yeah,
Oh.
she's in that stuff. Is she the girl from Not Another Teen Movie? Is she in that one?
Not
The
Lauren
one that-
Holly.
Somebody that looks like her. Then remember,
Oh,
she's
okay.
the one
John
that
Corbett,
she,
love
Jamie
interest.
she doesn't.
Priestley.
No, the one that he goes to the train station to meet, and then she doesn't just kiss any boy. She gives him hand jobs.
Oh yeah, that girl. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Shit, I can't remember. Also, Craig Robinson was in this movie as the sheriff.
Yeah. I mean, it's a funny movie. If you like that kind of stuff, which I do. It's a dumb romantic comedy with a bunch of slapstick comedy. It's also got what's his name, Leggero or whatever, the guy from Brooklyn Nine and
Yeah, Joe
the
Latrulio.
State,
Yeah,
the
Joe
State,
Latrulio.
yeah,
Classic
he's in it.
comedy.
Yeah. And there's a bunch of cameos. You wouldn't believe it.
Wow.
Like
So I'm really
famous
missing out.
people. Yeah, a bunch of comedians from like, that other side of SNL and like the State, a bunch of guys from the State.
Cool.
Yeah.
Is it funny?
Yeah.
If it's got a bunch of those people in there, it was probably directed by what's his name, David Wayne.
It was not. This is
Nope.
Jerry
Yes.
Ciceriti. I don't know who this
No.
guy is. Who cares? But
Someone who's
I don't know,
friends
but
with people
I
from the
mean-
state, I guess.
Yeah, cuddle up with your better half and watch a great cheesy movie.
Frosty.
All right, I'll check it out.
Hot
And then,
Frosty.
of course,
Also,
and-
director of Turkey Drop from 2019.
Yeah, no shit. Of course.
Classic film. Everyone saw it.
Then I watched Halloween movies.
He slept with a
all
turkey.
Halloween. And did you guys watch Let Me In? Right? Did you guys watch Let Me In?
I didn't see the remake.
I've seen the remake. I've seen them both. I didn't watch the TV show though.
No, yeah, that's the one where the lady's got the mummified hand of a psychic, and they bring it to parties, and it's like a party trick.
No, you're thinking of Talk to Me.
Talk to me.
Talk to Me. That's what I was thinking.
Yes.
Yeah, confused the titles. Yeah,
That's
I
the
watched
premise?
that one and for like the second time, and
That's the
and I
premise.
just
Amazing.
It's a good movie.
it's really usually I don't like ghost movies because they're silly, but this one was not silly.
Yeah, it's
It was
good.
really good. It was really, really good. I
Incredible.
can't say
Eric,
enough about it. Actually.
Wasn't
I
it your
watched it for the
favorite
second
movie of
time.
last year?
Favorite movie of last year was Talk to Me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
All right. Yeah. That's probably true. I believe you guys. I just
Not
don't
mine.
remember.
I thought it
Top
was good.
700 popularity on IMDb. Yeah, so obviously this is I have no idea what it is, but I'm gonna look into it now because you're recommending it, Aaron. Thank you so
It's
much.
scary. It's actually got a lot of tension.
Now that Aaron's your co-host of this movie podcast, said it's the best
No,
movie
yeah,
of all
yeah,
last
no,
year. Nope,
yeah,
not
no.
interested in your take on this.
He's a guest. I'm trying to be hospitable. That's you got to Southern
Hey,
hospitality, right, Aaron?
Move it along. It's cool, man. I'm good. It's all
Next.
gravy, baby.
Get the fuck on.
Yep.
Okay, well, cool,
I watched
fun
2
movies. You watched 1 in 6 weeks, but you have watched many movies in your life, correct?
Many movies. I don't know if much as you guys, but I've watched a lot. of
No,
movies.
you have. Fuck yeah, you have. You're right in there with everybody.
He's like, the only
You don't
movie I've
remember
ever seen
directors'
is Hot
names and
Frosty.
shit. Yeah.
watched Hot Frosty, and I've seen The Empire Strikes Back like 300 times.
That's funny. All right. Well, that's Aaron's credentials, so we'll lock him in too. There you go. He's locked in.
Lock it in.
And
Lock
it's
it
the
in.
Cinema 9 podcast. That's what we're doing here. So make sure you email the show if you disagree with anything Aaron, Eric, Travis, or myself are said, or if you want to praise us. We welcome
like
praise
praise.
too.
Yeah, we'll take
Yeah,
it.
why not? Yeah. Cinema9pod@gmail.com.
Praise you.
We got to pray. Pray. All right. So.
Oh, to make
Went a
it
different way on that one.
Yeah, he did.
I'm sorry. I don't know
Oh,
where I
good
am.
Travis.
Let's focus in on the main event now. Aaron has selected a movie, and it is called Blindspotting. It is from 2018, and it is a film. So we will talk about it in full. But, Aaron, I would love to get your background on this one. Do you remember the first time you saw Blindspotting? Can you take us back in time to the beginning?
Yeah, so I saw it. I didn't see it. I don't know if it was released in theaters. I don't know, but I watch a an essayist on YouTube. I think his name is FD Salinger.
This guy you recommended to me recently?
Yeah, same guy.
Yeah, he's great. He's great.
Yeah. So he gives you the black perspective on things. And he reviewed this movie, and I was like, oh, shit, I got to see this movie. And this is probably 2020, I'd imagine, somewhere around there. I caught it late, but I watched it, and I was like, oh, shit. And then I started recommending it to everybody, I think including you fellas. I don't know
You
if
sure
ever got
did.
watched.
Nope.
But like, this is
Last
great.
night.
This gave me a perspective that, I've seen like movies like this in the past, but this one I felt like gave me a more in-depth, a more nuanced perspective. Besides its undertones of gentrification, it wasn't very subtle at all. But the interpersonal relationship between two guys was just so interesting to me. And I think that, I don't remember the actor's name, but he's just like the first moment on screen, you can see his face and you have interest in this guy. You want to know what's going on. I think he's a fine actor.
The lead, David Diggs. Is that what we're talking
Yeah.
about? The guy that plays Hoskins or Colin? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and this movie is directed by Carlos Lopez Estrada and written by the two main actors, Rafael Casal and David Diggs. So that's fun.
And I think it's interesting that Estrada went on after this to do the animated feature Raya the Last Dragon, or he was like the co-director of that animated film, which is really good kids movie.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Wow.
Interesting. I
Never
thought.
seen it. Okay. Okay. What about Travis, did you see this movie? Is this
No.
your first viewing?
No, it was my first viewing last night, and I was thinking about it, I'm like, I remember Aaron like really like pushing for me to for everybody to watch this movie. I was like, why didn't I watch it? Because I get frustrated when people don't watch movies that I aggressively push. Then I started thinking about it. I'm like, I think it puts a weird pressure on me. Like as I was sitting down to watch the movie, I was like, oh god, here we go. Like, there's part of me that was like, because I felt like I have to like it. If I don't like it, then Aaron's gonna be mad at me. And
no.
and then I'm like, oh man, I think that like that's probably why I need to like not be so pushy with my recommendations to people, because I get excited and I want to like spread the gospel of whatever movie it is that I've discovered, which is partly why doing this podcast is a joy, because I get to do it here. But yeah, sorry for not watching the movie you recommended until you forced me.
No sweat off my back, man. It was only you missing out.
Eric, what about you?
When I saw this in 2018, when it came out during a big Oscar awards season, I subsequently put it on Arcane Cinema. This is our sister, friend of the show's Facebook movie website. It was number 1 on my best of 2018 movie list. So I had seen this before.
Nice.
All right.
Whoa.
High praise.
Shit. Okay. Wow. All right. I saw this when Aaron told me about it. Yeah. It was during, I feel like it was like pandemic time, because I remember sitting watching it alone in Livonia.
Yeah.
It was like when we started this pod.
Yeah,
right?
2020. So
Yeah.
it makes sense. It fits right in that timeline. And I remember watching it and being like, wow, I'm so glad I watched that movie. Great call, dude. I definitely was impressed by the film, and I'll watch it like once a year. I'd actually watched it with Leanne about 2 months ago. And so then when Aaron was coming on, he had an idea, and then we were talking about, it was like, make your own choice, do whatever movie you want.
Oh, boy.
But then I suggested Blindspotting, and he's like, perfect, let's do it. So
Yeah.
I guess technically
I don't know why it wasn't in my head. I made
Wow.
it,
Yeah.
I was like,
You've made a
yep,
big stink in the
that's
past about how you never try and sway the guests. You've made big noises
right.
about this
Big,
every time.
big.
Yep,
Stink.
I never have.
Well, it didn't have to sway me at all. I was just like, yeah, that's it. That's
Yeah,
fine.
there was no persuasion for the record. It was just it
This
just
is
made
suggestion.
sense because he was so into it, and then if it slipped his mind, it's just a reminder. That's all. So.
Yeah. I've
Objection.
seen it. I think
We need
this
the
is my
witness.
my fifth viewing of it, I think. Yeah.
Care for that, Counselor.
I'm
that's my fifth.
on thin ice, counselor. Yeah, I am. Okay, fine, whatever. So what about the IMDb rating? Did anybody see it already? Wants to send it out?
Yeah, I looked at it.
Yeah, I saw
Okay,
it,
so we'll
actually.
guess then.
I didn't see
I'll
it. I
guess.
did not see it. Yeah, Mike.
All right, Eric, what do you
man?
think? Well, I'm thinking, I thought the movie was impressive, and you said obviously it was one of your best, or the best of
Wow, the
2018.
best.
I got to say it's a 7.5.
No, this is a 7.9.
I'm not positive. I think it was a 7.7. I know it was 7 something.
7.4.
It was like
7.4. Okay.
7.4. 33,000 reviews though on IMDb. That's not a lot. That's a low number.
I saw
not
that
even
too. That's
cracking
what I took
100
into
grand.
consideration. Yeah, when I looked at it.
How so?
Well, I mean, I think that's, you said it's not a lot, but also was like, it's like an indie movie, right? And like, I don't think it didn't get like a lot of promo or anything like that.
Or any.
So, yeah. So
Or
I think
any.
I think that was, they're good numbers for that. I think
Yeah.
to get a decent understanding.
There should be more numbers. You're right. But it wasn't highly promoted. But it does have 94% on the reputable site Rotten Tomatoes from the critics. Then
It's high.
87 from the crowd.
happy.
So not
Everybody's
far behind.
happy.
Much higher than IMDb rating. As far as critical reviews, what the critics said back in the day, which was only 6 years ago. I wonder if we'll get Destin today.
No, we will not.
Oh, man.
Kirk Honeycutt?
Well,
He's retired.
yeah, we were talking about Honeycutt. Where the hell's he been? You
Old
know?
Honeycutt. Gonsalves. Where are these guys?
Where you been? Well, give me somebody I know. Christ.
Wallace?
How about Amon Warman from Empire Magazine, the movie mag? By equal turns tense and witty, but with plenty of perceptive social commentary to go around, this is a film that only gets more rewarding the more you look under its surface.
Yeah, sure. I don't think there was, I don't think that you had to like look very far to find the meaning they were going after, right? It's pretty obvious.
I don't know. Kind of went by me.
Well, I mean, there's several things.
Said
going
one
on
of the
here.
4 white guys talking about this movie.
Wow. White people. Oh, don't label me, bro. Come on. How about local critic Adam Graham of the Detroit News? Back on July 27th, 2018, Adam said, Blindspotting is directed with fervor by first-timer Carlos Lopez Estrada, who brings its simmering tensions to a boil without letting the pot overflow.
Is it simmering or is it boiling? I don't.
Well, he thinks it's a simmer, not a straight boil, like a slow burn. So
Yeah.
I don't think it's that slow though. The movie has pacing that's pretty.
It's like 90 minutes.
It builds up to one big scene, though, doesn't it? I mean,
Oh yeah, obviously,
Sure.
yeah, for sure.
Oh,
Couple, yeah.
okay.
I mean,
Forget
there's a couple big
Honeycutt.
scenes.
Forget Honeycutt. We got Goody Coons.
Goody
Yeah.
Coons. Been too long.
Yay!
Old
Bill
Old
Bill Goody Coons
Old
of the
Bill.
Arizona Republic,
Goody.
July 26, 2018, said the following. This is a movie that should be seen. You will think about it for a long time. Wrestling with the questions it asks and doesn't
drive
always
west.
answer.
You're going to watch this movie.
You gotta think about it. You put this movie on repeat.
You're gonna ruminate.
I don't know why he said it like that. It sounded funny. This is a movie that should be seen, period. You will think about it for a long time, wrestling with the questions it asks and doesn't always answer. Yeah, at least not in a traditional way. That's a good call, Goody Coons. I'm right there with you on that part.
Good call, Goody Coons. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
It presents things, right? This movie presents you with quagmires and crises and systemic problems, right? But it doesn't solve them all or try to at all. So he's right.
Yeah. Just a couple of dudes trying to get through.
Watching ESPN.
Okay. How about the female perspective from the Tribune News Service? Katie Walsh. She said, a cathartic battle cry against police brutality and gentrification, and a sensitive, nuanced unpacking of race and identity.
Does it have like carrots and it say in italics, hushed tones? Before the
Gentrification.
Hush, tones and tones.
Yeah. So, this movie's about gentrification, racism, police brutality.
A lot of shit.
A lot of
Systematic.
Oakland. It's a love letter to Oakland above all else, right? I mean, like a love letter which comes with like the kind of fuck you, like only I can say this about my town kind of shit.
It's so funny. Like, you know what I didn't realize? You know, it's Oakland. It's just Oakland. You never thought about it. I didn't think about what it was named for at all ever in my
Oaks.
life until I saw this movie.
It's named for a tree?
Look at all the
Yeah.
rings on this tree.
Oh.
It was a big part of it.
Is that a running metaphor throughout the film or anything?
It is.
wonder.
It is. It is.
I'm confused. Did they stop and do a straight PowerPoint about the allegory at hand here, or was that just me?
Oh, fill me in, honestly.
I-
What am I missing here?
Well, there's the whole thing with Wayne Knight. He gets and billing here, where he shows the pictures of superimpose the former oak trees like in the places where they used to be. And
Oh,
he
yeah.
says they're chopping us down, boys. And he's not talking. He's like talking about like the old Oaklands being chopped down to the point that when they go to this Pandora exec or whatever is house, he's got
CEO's
a
party?
yeah, he's got a fucking chunk of one of the, he's got the stump there, and he's like, check out all the rings. Don't put your glass down on it.
No
And
cups
there's-
on that table.
Yeah, right. And there's a couple other references throughout. Like, I mean, one of the rappings that David Diggs does towards the end in that big climax. He's talking about rings and trees and oaks and all that kind of stuff too. So it's like a running theme.
And you'll notice them like when they're going up to the hipster's house, right? It's got a palm tree in the middle. Both houses on the sides both have oak trees in them.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
Shit.
More subtle.
And they'll the camera will start on an oak tree and then move to something else in a couple other scenes. Yeah.
Did anybody or has anyone watched the TV show?
No.
Based on this? There's a TV show based on
It's
it?
created by Diggs and Casal.
Oh, no shit. I saw that
So
it existed, but I just assumed it was something else. Like when we did
looks
Swimming
like-
with Sharks, apparently.
Eric, have you
there's a
seen it?
No,
TV show
I
for
didn't even know
everything.
about it.
Looks like 2021 it came about. So the movie is in 2018. They create the TV show in 2021. It ran for 16 episodes. So I don't know. This might be something, Aaron, you definitely got to check out.
Yeah, I should do. I've been meaning to for like forever, and then I'm just like, my attention span has not been high lately. I just haven't been into sitting down. Yeah,
understandable. Yeah,
yeah.
But it's by the creator, so it's not just like somebody threw a title on there. So I'm definitely going to try to check it out. I had no idea.
Yeah, eventually I will.
Yeah, you know, much like this is like a kind of a love letter to Oakland. It really reminds me of Matt Damon and Ben Affleck's love letter to South Austin, Goodwill Hunting in a lot of ways. And for the same respect, like these dudes, Daveed Diggs and what's my boy's name?
Rafael Casal.
Yeah, they wrote this like 10 years before that, and they just tried to get it going forever, and they made it happen, man. I mean, their chemistry is fucking fantastic together.
100%.
Immediate right off the bat.
Daveed Diggs is, he got big from playing Thomas Jefferson in Hamilton. Yeah. So I think that once he got that kind of cachet under him, he was able to, use that into getting this made. I would imagine had a lot to do with it. And then the other guy, Raphael, one more time, what's his last name? I had not seen him in anything, but he was in Loki too, and I thought he was a really standout cast member in that season. Yeah, I thought he was really good in that. He was. You watched it, didn't you, Mike?
Actually, I haven't watched Loki 2, believe it or not.
I need good.
Yeah. I love Loki first season. So.
Well, then you'll love the second season, and he's good in it.
Okay, he's in it.
Yep.
Yeah. So do these guys? Does anyone know? Like these guys, pals? Were they pals who knew each other?
Yeah, they were like these characters. They were like tight bros from way back in the day.
Okay, so yes, the chemistry's great, the acting's excellent, but they did have a rapport. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah,
that doesn't hurt. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
I mean, like there's so many. There's stuff in a lot in this. There's a lot. It's not just about one thing. It's about a ton of things. So that's why it's kind of hard to jump in, because it takes on a lot of huge thematic issues here.
I think we could. I mean, besides Oakland itself, we could start with like the ticking clock of sorts in this, which is his freedom. Right. And like what it means to be a convicted felon, especially as a black man in America today. The stigma that comes with that, the extra risk it puts on you in all these different ways, and the transitioning from that and how easily it could happen to you, and demonstrating how like a white guy who's in the same fucking fight walks away scot-free, where the black guy goes to prison and has his freedom taken away and all this shit. So I feel like there's a lot about the inequality inherent in the system happening with that as well.
Well, there's also the dynamic of change, evolving or growing or maturing too. With you have a friend who is a menace, right? So, well, at least a menace perceived by his ex-girlfriend, who's played by Shiva. For those that watch The League, Shiva, there she is. I only know her as Shiva, unfortunately, because
she's a beauty.
Yes, she is.
Yes, agreed. But I wonder, I feel like, okay, so first off, the way they tell and finally reveal the story of what happened is awesome. I fucking love how they did it.
It's so great.
Isn't it?
So great. I hate my dad.
Eric disagrees.
Oh, you don't like it, Eric?
I fucking loved it.
Let's hear it, Eric.
It's called A Moment of Levity. There you go, right?
Yeah. You don't want to tell me?
I've always laughed throughout. I love the Topher stuff, the Jason Biggs stuff, but I can't lie, and I don't want to be. Look, we're talking about, it's 4 white dudes in their 40s talking about Blindspotting, and I don't want to be the guy that's like, I kind of feel bad, and I don't love the portrayal of Jason Biggs, Topher, or whatever you want to call him. I'm not in love with the idea of this being a joke, because it is the central catalyst for our boy going to prison and him living in this situation. And it's a joke that he attacks this guy and almost fucking kills him. And it's entertaining to watch. And I like it.
Right. From that guy's perspective, the tone of the movie doesn't indicate that, nor does their reactions to hearing that.
But we're still laughing. We're still laughing, though.
But the two characters sitting there in it, reliving it, are stone-faced, paralyzed by the moment, too. So I hear what you're saying, but I think that also has to be...
do you guys feel bad for Topher while you watch it? Or are you just like...
You're right, I don't.
Hilarious.
I don't.
I don't know that I felt bad for him exactly. I will say that I had mixed feelings about the T-shirt that says "Kill a hipster, save a hood," or "Save your." I'm like,
That's fucking hilarious. Yeah.
yeah. A lot of these guys look like me at this party. I don't know, man.
Self-preservation.
Yep. But I love the way they tell the story, and my bigger point there was that the way she responds, because she saw it in person, and when they have the conversation later, like, do you always think of the fight as soon as you see or think of me?
Incredible.
Yeah.
That you can't blame her, because I'm kind of like against her a bit. Like, she's really hard on him. Like, the guy's trying to do right, but she's kind of rough.
But that's the thing. That's the thing, Mike. Like, if they would have portrayed this through her eyes, it would have been a completely different sequence. And for me, I think it maybe would have hit a little harder, because when we do cut to her and we're supposed to be all emotional about her response to it, we're thinking back on how funny that scene was. Like, it was fucking out of.
I don't think so. I think it's designed to cause. I think it's designed to cause, a reaction. You going from feeling, laughter and this is a funny situation to feeling that how serious it actually is.
Yeah, that's
right. And you're just going back and forth between these emotions, and I think it's to dizzy the audience on purpose.
Yeah, I mean, the way that Daveed Diggs is responding to all this is not like, that's not comedy, right? Like, we're not supposed to feel that there.
How many times have we done something really stupid that we thought was hilarious, and then years down the trail we're like, you know what, that was fucking terrible, and I'm a absolute dick for contributing.
Oh yeah, 100%.
We never lit anyone on fire and beat them half to death, but I get your point.
That is true.
Speak for yourself.
When I say we, I was talking about the Cinema 9 podcast. But.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Not the guests. Not the guests. But yeah, so does anyone think that, am I out of line here? Like, she could have been a little bit more accommodating to him.
She fucking tells him to cut his hair. She tells a black man to cut his hair. He explains, that's my identity. And that's been an ongoing thing and an ongoing conversation that they have. Like, I'm not a black man, but I've spoken with enough black people and I've read enough that I know that their locks are fucking important to them. The braids are important to them. You can't fucking be telling some black man to cut his hair. I think that's bullshit. And she's like, you need to ditch Miles too, which she's right. But at the same time, like, she also knows this has been like his best friend since he was 11. Like, you gotta like just fucking accept, really. Like, even though she's right, like, she shouldn't be saying that shit. So in the end, I'm glad that they don't get back together, because I don't think they should. He's better off without her.
Yeah, I see that.
There's also
I don't know. I never had the expectations that they might. I thought it was just like, it was clear that it was over. Like, you could see it in her eyes. Over.
Yeah.
You could see it in her eyes every time she looked at him.
Kiss. I mean, they kiss, I think, right?
Well,
there's still tension.
Well, she takes the wrong tack. Sure. You're right, Travis. She's admonishing him and like coming down on him. Like, he doesn't need that. He's already getting enough of that shit from the system itself, from the fucking guy who's always saying, "Hey, prove otherwise at all times that you're not a felon." I mean, what a high level that you have to achieve to maintain every fucking day.
Yeah, and he has to see her at work every day. But besides that, I mean, he went chasing. And,
but that's the thing. Everybody's telling him to change himself, like physically change himself, or you're not going to make it in the world. And he's like, let me worry about myself.
But Miles is saying the whole time, don't change.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Miles is the only one that's like, you don't change. But then we find out at the end that he actually envies him for being because he sees himself, Miles, as like this outcast growing up white in this neighborhood and always feeling like he had to like perform and prove something. And he's like, you're lucky basically that you get to be a big black man. And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm like a big black man, convicted felon. So the one guy that doesn't judge him for it also just doesn't fucking get it.
That was a great moment, and like that, you could see the epiphany on his face. It was acted so well. I've seen that look on people's faces when they finally get it. They finally get it, and it's he's been compartmentalizing maybe a lot, and he can't figure it out.
Is that the scene you're talking about?
In the fight, in the alley, like in the parking lot.
Yeah, when he was telling him these things about the big black man.
He wants him to say the N-word. Call him
right. Yeah, that big scene.
Oh, okay. All right.
Which is where we get some hints of that in the dream sequence, which I know you love, Mike. You love a good dream sequence, but in that dream sequence,
not too pissed on this one for the record. Actually, rare, very rare.
Okay, but it's not too subtle when you have his white best friend like as his attorney who's fucking him in the dream. With the hand, and then like cutting to Ethan Embry as the cop shooting the gun, and he's conflicted about his white best friend. That's for sure, for many good reasons.
Ethan Embry got hard. Who knew it?
I didn't even fucking recognize him. I saw his name in the credits, and then was like, then you guys were like, that was fucking Ethan Embry. Holy shit!
Yeah, that's Papa Giorgio. That's Empire.
He's in a bunch of
that's
stuff. He's in a bunch of like
Can't Hardly Wait
horror. He was in Masters of Horror, if you remember that too.
Yeah, I know, but I just he's just I don't know. He didn't look like himself. He's getting old, I guess. We all are.
He got hard. That's what I'm saying. He grew up as like the fun kind of goofy character as a younger actor in the 90s, right? And now
does a good job of looking like he's shitting his pants.
Yes. Yes. He looks a conflicted guy. Again, everybody's conflicted. This movie could be called Conflicted. This movie could be called Perspectives. It's got so
Crash
much
done right.
Crash done right. Hell yeah. There you go. That to me, the best part, or the most almost ideal effort on the film's behalf, is at that party where you have all of these identities mixed together with perceptions of what they should be. And the reason the black guy and Miles get in a fight is because Miles thinks that he's being pushed around like he's a pussy by somebody who he thinks might be a hipster, but actually at the same time, the dude who pushes Miles and gets pissed at him is fed up with having to deal with the white CEO who's telling him, get drank, homie. And like he's got to sit there and take it with a smile on his face. All of these things are happening underneath and on the outside at the same time. And this is where the movie masterfully blends racism, perceptions, and bigotry, and tokenism, and all of these concepts at once.
Maybe that's where that reviewer got his simmer comment from.
Maybe.
That's
like
I do.
Yeah. I love the way they wrote this character Miles, because that scene says it all. Like in that scene, everybody is trying to tell Miles that he needs to change because the world around him is changing and the times are changing. Miles doesn't want to change. He thinks he is adapted and he gets to live this way for the rest of his life, and everybody around him is saying otherwise, and it fucking pisses him off. That's really complex, interesting.
And the things are the quick ways change, all the gentrification stuff too that mixes into that on the surface level fuels the fire as well.
Well, and everything he's been doing has been working out for him. You see what kind of hustler he is. He's making money.
You're right.
He's a guy's kid into the private school they want to get to. So everything he's doing in his mind, he's the man. He's making shit happen
until he almost gets his son killed, and then almost beats a stranger to death. And has a huge fight with his friend. And so like the next morning, he actually takes out his fucking stupid ass grill and puts it in his pocket for a few hours. And then by the end of the movie, the grill's back in.
Yep.
It's like, oh, he's not changing.
You wanted the big throw the grill into the ocean scene?
Nope. That did not happen. He's not really changing.
You're not getting that in this movie. Fuck you. And good.
No more
for
grill.
The movie. Yeah, that's right. Good on the movie for doing so, because
incremental
the complexities of it all is awesome. It's such a great, beautiful, difficult, painful, but also cathartic experience to go through that party scene and have them have it out, and then to try to talk it over with his woman about who he is and what he doesn't want to be anymore, but what he jeopardized by not. That's the other thing too. He just completely dismisses his woman, who he seems to love his family so much, but he's not thinking of them most of the time when he's out there acting out his behaviors.
Or he's just like, because she kicked him out of the house, whatever, and he's then in that fuck it mode. We've all been there.
Oh,
fuck
shit.
it.
That's a great point. That's a great point, actually. You're right. Fuck it mode. Yeah. That party, they keep that party like in the movie up until the point they actually go to it. It's fun. Hey, no, we're not going to that party. We're not going to that party. And then they end up at the party. That's well done as well. And by the way, that Uber would never exist. There's no way that would be approved. That car would not be approved for Uber. I work for Uber. Never.
Another problematic friend in their life. This guy is like he's like a harbinger. Every time he shows up, bad shit happens.
6 guns in the car Uber.
They're all just sitting there like, what the fuck? What?
It was such a great scene too, and I love I love the lighting and the fluorescent.
Although not in reality, it looks good on film, but in reality, if I was in a car that kind of lighting, I'd be like, "This."
If I was 3 days to go, fuck yeah, dude, 3 days almost off parole. Yeah, I'd be freaking out.
Yeah, what's he doing there in the first place?
Yeah, he doesn't really run away from these situations that he's offered.
Which is his ex-girlfriend's point. Like, you may not do this shit, but you allow it, and you can just kind of like sit back and are privy to it pretty often, which is true.
An enabler. He's an enabler.
That's because when you're in a cage like that, your relationships are the most important thing, and it's worth it to just go with it and take the risk than to just run away.
Yeah, and it's hard for him. We see that growth happening in these few days of him letting go of Miles. Miles is calling out for him when he's fighting with this guy, and he doesn't help him. Miles looks at him like
the gun.
Yeah. Right. He doesn't. Miles looks at him like, fucking lie for me, and he doesn't to his wife. Which I'm glad he doesn't lie to him about that, but he should have jumped in on the fight thing just to fucking stop the fight, if anything. But also, your friend's getting beat like at that moment. Like,
well, yeah, and it kind of seemed like he was in like maybe
shock,
had some
like
PTSD.
paralyzed.
Yeah,
but that's for sure. You're right. That's another running theme throughout the film. Like every time he sees a cop after that, like he's fucking traumatized, literally.
Oh,
that audio we get whenever I love that. That is so. Dude. The movie does that so masterfully, blending the audio with this terror, this inner terror. That's one of the key things it also represents. Miles may feel inferior, but he never has that inner terror that Colin is dealing with whenever he sees a cop car. Obviously, it got blown, hyped up big time because he saw a guy get killed by a cop. That was exacerbated. But even before that, it was always that way. And the movie doesn't sell it to you. It doesn't shove it in your face, but it lays it out for you to really understand it as the viewer.
When that scene comes, when he's walking down the sidewalk with an unregistered firearm on him, and he's a convicted felon, and that fucking cop is creeping on with that light. That's the most tense scene of the movie, I think, by far.
It's the best scene.
More tense than the baby with a gun?
Yeah, actually, I thought it was.
You know what? I'm sorry. Baby and the gun just felt like let's have the baby find the gun type of scene.
I never thought the kid was at risk, really, to be honest.
No, it wasn't going to happen. It just felt like another thing. Oh, also, it's dangerous to have guns in the house, even though why is it such a huge surprise? They're living in a neighborhood that's not the best, and they probably would just have a gun anyway.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, he never told his own wife. Like, that's why it's a surprise.
There's odds are she would requst that they also have one to protect her kid.
You know what? Aaron,
well, that's not
what we say about guns too. Yeah.
You're 7 times more likely to die of gun violence if you own a gun.
Just having the gun makes it more, worse.
Yeah. Man, should I say this or not?
Oh boy, here we go.
I gotta say
it. Hot take. You got a hot take. You got a hot take drop, Mike?
We're all from Heartland, right? And we can only see these situations in movies and stuff, man. But like, this is why this scene is so powerful for me. When Davy's walking down the street and just this like tank rolls up, this, just like you said, this harbinger, this demon rolls up with this light. And like the spotlight's on him, and it's just like I could die right now. Like we've all had cops walk up to us who've been like, "All right, fucking where's Dunkin' Donuts around here? We know we're gonna be fucking just fine. Give me the fucking ticket, you cop. I know my rights and blah blah blah." But to see this illustrated on film, just the absolute abject terror that this is the most dangerous situation this person's probably ever been in their entire life, and they could get murdered that very night. I fucking seen this, man. Like, I was once on a set where we staged a car crash, and it was stupid. We didn't get any permits. It was me and like 2 black dudes. One was the cameraman, one was the producer, and the cops rolled up on us because we were being idiots and we had no permit. And me and my fucking white friends were like ready to be like, "All right, you do. We're sorry. We'll get out of here. We'll go down the street." We weren't thinking. My buddies bolted. They fucking bolted, and we didn't see them for the rest of the night. We didn't know what happened to them, and that it was like it. I didn't have to think about it that way until that point in my life. That these fucking guys were afraid for their fucking lives. If something goes wrong, they could get fucking shot and killed. Yeah. And it shook me the fuck up, dude. And the way it's portrayed in this movie is like a fucking firing squad about to happen. It's done so well by this guy, Carlos, whoever the hell he is.
Estrada. Something Estrada.
Yes. Yeah, this movie is about complicity, though, too. You know, it's who's complicit by not saying things, right? The code of silence, which rules the streets, or just rules friendships. Period. Hey, don't snitch on me, don't rat on me, right? And the complicity of everybody else going along for the ride. Sooner or later, you have to make a choice to break away. You know, as you age, as you mature, you say, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be part of the shenanigans anymore. I'm out. And this movie's also about that, which is amazing because it's all about all these other things we've already talked about too.
Well, that's another thing. Yeah, he's conflicted about this relationship he has, but I've had friends like that. You know, all the negative they have, they have just as much as positive qualities, attributes about themselves, and it's hard to want to lose those. You know, even though you're dumping out the bad stuff, and you don't want to lose that positive. You know, and like he said,
that's another thing I love about this movie. Like, even in the big moments, like moments later, they're like, well, obviously we're still going to be friends, and like, I'm not going to hold a grudge for the rest of my life. Like, people adapt and evolve and move on, like within the moment. That's what makes it seem so like like a real character study for me.
I like this moment with Estrada where he's tracking David Diggs running through the graveyard every morning, and then he cuts to old school Oakland houses. Then he cuts to a construction site. Then he cuts to these like fresh apartment buildings. And I lived in North Philly for a couple of years, and that area is undergoing. It's pretty much complete now, but at the time was undergoing some serious gentrification. That's what it was like. Like everywhere you turned was like either some old dilapidated building or some construction or some fucking building that was like, you know, a year old. And I thought that was a really great representation of how that all kind of and then plugging that in with the movement of David Diggs running through the graveyard, kind of like the death of the city. I thought that was really well articulated visually.
And the fact that they're movers. That also is just it's a great tool for this movie to say what it wants to say. It's really ideal because they can go in all these directions. And I was wondering if you guys objected, because I don't even know if I need the ending, like that final showdown with Ethan Embry's character. That could have not been in the movie, and I still would have had the same.
Well, I thought about this, and they've been setting it up the entire time. You know, when he's rapping and practicing his raps and everything. And you're right, it does take you out. And what it did to me is like it turned into this whole performance art thing, obviously. And I was, the first time I saw it, I was like, well, I don't know about this either. But then the more I watched it over and over again, and then you pick up on things, repeat viewings, and then, tying it all together. It was a theme that went through the whole thing, and it ended with a big showdown. And when it comes down to it, I think I enjoyed it this last time I watched it for sure.
I've never been to Oakland, but again, like I lived in Philly, and one of the things that really stuck out to me about Philly was it's a big city, but a small town at the same time. Like I would run into people all the time, and that's kind of happening in this movie. Like they're seeing people from their neighborhood, and they're kind of like their lives are like interwoven in a way. So I kind of was on board with it. Ended up being the cop. Like it kind of made sense. Like the wife and kid are leaving him. They hired a moving company. It happened. I'm on board. I'll go with it.
No, I've run into people halfway, across the world. It's just so insane sometimes, and it happens. It's serendipitous or whatever you want to call it, but it happens. So I could get on board with that, and I thought that it was well acted. I thought that the whole situation was handled pretty well. The rapping throughout the movie is good poetry, right? Like I can respect the poetry of it, but I'm just like not like a rap guy. And every time it starts happening, especially like it's one thing when they're like walking around and he's just kind of rapping, and I'm like, okay, like that makes sense. Like I've seen people and heard people doing that as they walk around and shit. And then there's like a moment where they're like moving and like they're packing up that house that's like it's like all very artful. And I'm like, okay, like this is starting to feel like you said almost like an art piece. And it's like, okay, this is kind of taking me out of it a little bit. Starting to feel like it does.
I'm at a spoken word festival now.
But I think that's with intention. I don't think it is, because it's just so
really work for me.
It's set up like almost like like a stage too. When they're in that basement, they only got so much room, and That's the way I felt about
I
it.
think it's really happening. I just think that like it can't, like Travis.
Yeah.
It came off like he was practicing it in real life. You know what I mean? Not like it was like cutting to the musical. It just seemed like he was kind of practicing it. And
Yeah,
David
no, I'm not
called
saying it was a musical, but
yeah, no. But David said that like this happens, dude. I guess they called it heightened language. It's like I'm not just stopping and breaking to the song. He said it's heightened language, and this stuff actually happens. People will just practice this as just a way of expressing themselves, like on the street.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that I don't have respect for it.
In our climax, man, like, did I need that to happen instead of something more? Because this is one of the most tense, real situations you could possibly see in a movie. There, it's head to head, and then he goes into the rap. It took me out a little bit. It took me out. The message is powerful, but it took me out.
That's all I'm saying. Is it took me out a little bit. I do think that there's a lot of really complicated things that he's able to say in that spoken word bit, like that he's able to like get into like these big, you know, I think that they're able to pack more in to that scene the way that it's done in terms of encapsulating all these heavy themes that they're trying to cover in the movie. So I do think in those ways it works, but in other ways, yeah, it just kind of pulls me out a little bit. That's all I'm saying.
What do you think, Mike? Do you like that he busts into it, or are you like me, where it's just like, well, you haven't really painted as someone who like is a poet and is a rapper and a musician this whole entire time, and then all of a sudden you're choosing this time? You feeling it?
Well, that's why I brought it up. I think Aaron's point is kind of where I landed. It did kind of like, oh, well, this is happening now, and this is still going, and the fact that, you know, Colin's grabbing the gun the way he is, and he seems like he's on the brink of maybe even shooting the guy, which is very intense. I mean, he's selling it. It's like, is this the first time I watched him? Like, is this really gonna happen? It doesn't happen, of course, but he's locked in this trance, and it's performance art. So, yeah, it takes me out a bit, but I think the flow was so smooth, and that the fact that you're working all day as a mover, and you guys are two dudes who rap for fun or fuck around and do rhymes. That was natural to me. It seemed very natural that you would definitely do that to pass the time. So when I look at it through that perspective,
you know what he does, man, and I didn't catch it till this last time. During his rap, he says that, like, dude, let's be honest. A majority of the time when a white guy wants to listen to someone like me, it's because they like rap music. So if I'm going to get through to you, when I need to get through to you right now in this tense situation, I'm going to rap to you, and maybe you'll be able to hear me a little bit more than you know.
Did you notice he calls him the actor?
Calls him Ethan Embry.
He says, I'm rapping to the actor in that rap.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I didn't. I missed that.
I mean, and it ends with him like looking directly into the camera, so it's all very
right. So it's very performance art. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it's interesting. It's something we haven't seen at the very least.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, that's probably true. All right. Also, I thought the hipster Colorado boy looked like Spike Jonze. I really thought it was him with a mustache.
Yeah.
Just want to throw that out there.
Same tattoo, bro.
Yeah, moved here from Portland a year ago.
We talk about Gina. We talk about fucking Gina. We got Gina in the house.
Yeah, Gina.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, that was great.
Wasted.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just thought about this because we talked a little bit about the fight scene. But me and my brother used to fight people sometimes.
We know. We're scared.
But
still.
it made me every time I see it, and he says that white boy was all like, "I hate my dad." You going in for the punch.
Gold.
Just brings it back so hard, man. It's
So you're having flashbacks.
Oh man, it's so spot on. So
yeah,
perfect.
that's why I love that guy who tells the story. That actor, he's great. I don't know who he is, but that's why I love it, Eric.
I've seen him and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, I've seen him a couple times. I don't know his name, but I do know that the way he tells it and the enthusiasm he has, while he doesn't realize he's telling like a life-altering event. Yeah, he's completely until it finally all comes to him.
It's very Michael Pena from Ant-Man, though. Let's be honest.
Yeah, that could be part.
The
That's
whole
a lot of different things.
ADR, like I mean, like him doing everyone's voice and all that kind of stuff. To me, it just smacked kind of heavily of that. I
love that. It made me laugh too, and the fact bitching about quit smoking, just all these quick little moments. That's a lot packed in. Again, rarely has a movie packed so much into it. As we kind of get to the close here to give our final thoughts, is there anything else we wanted to mention that we didn't get to mention here, folks?
It's also kind of cool because I don't want anyone to roll their eyes, but it is refreshing to see minority groups kind of making fun of just regular fucking white dudes. I mean, like, I know I had a problem with that scene because thematically I needed it to be
Right.
taken more seriously, but it is kind of refreshing to just see people of color having some sort of jovial authority over white people, and that's that. You know what I mean? And it did that in 2018, and I thought it was kind of cool.
Speaks to the scarcity of it in mainstream movies. You're right. Yeah. Let's see. Things I want to mention. I didn't understand the boat language when he sold the guy the boat. Is that just a fun rap? I don't understand how people talk.
It was.
I wanted.
I assumed it was like very localized dialect, like how they talk in their neighborhood.
Had to be.
You know, he says when he came away from it, I don't know what the fuck
he's talking about.
Yeah, does say that.
Sold a boat. So I think it's just nonsense playing. But I mean, maybe that's the way people talk over there. I've never been to Oakland.
It's true. I haven't either, so I can't comment on it. Never. I'll never comment on it ever.
But I know that like people in Baltimore talk a hell of a lot different than people in Detroit do, and that's just a fact. Like they don't.
Yeah.
Those accents are hella different.
Well, speaking of Philly, how about the Philly accent and even the North Baltimore accent? They all start to bleed together.
And there's this weird accent just outside of Baltimore. That's the white guy accent, and I can't even do it. What is that on the
across
shore?
The water. Yeah,
the Eastern Shore. It's like I can't even mock it. It's just something my voice, the shape of my mouth can't do.
I know what you're talking about.
Crazy.
Yeah,
but yeah, like so who knows? Maybe there's just stuff all over the place like that. You know, real localized dialect.
Well, Aaron, you brought it to the table, as we like to say, so you get first dibs.
Sure.
Give us your final summation of whether this holds up or not.
This movie holds up, obviously. It's a fifth viewing I had this time around, and I enjoyed it. I was laughing. I wasn't hit as hard emotionally this time, and I think that's just because I've seen it so many times. But it's a tight 90 minutes, just jam-packed, full of and what I believe are important, very important themes, especially in our society. I don't think it can get much better for what it is. So, I think it's probably in my top 50 all time. Yeah.
All right.
50?
Wow.
Yeah, top 50.
Doesn't crack the top 10?
Doesn't crack the top 10.
Okay.
If I had to, well, maybe it will tomorrow. Who knows? It's an ever-moving thing. It's a dynamic scale.
All sales are final. End of story.
Yeah. So holds up. I encourage everyone to go watch this movie immediately. And I think that's all I have to say about it. Yeah. Okay.
I'll jump in. I have a question though before we do. Behind you, Mike, you have a picture of the cast all laying down, and I recognize everyone in the cast except for some white lady. Who's this white lady like laying down towards the end here?
Oh, yeah.
The second from the end. Who the fuck is this
there.
white lady?
I wonder. I actually am questioning
The
now.
producer?
This might be the TV show.
Yeah, that's the TV show. Episode 213.
Is it the TV show?
That's what I'm thinking now. I think it's the TV
I'm not sure
show.
I see David Diggs in here either.
Yeah, because I think there's a.
All right.
I'm not gonna make
You got good call. Good observation. You nailed it.
All right. Well, that explains who the fucking white lady is. I'm like, is that Jane Lynch? What the fuck am I looking at here? She reprised her role from Role Models. All right.
Glee.
So I'd never seen the movie. I think that some of my complaints, it sounds like you had, little though I had them, it sounds like you guys, or at least you, Aaron, kind of mentioned that you had some of that feeling the first time you viewed it. Maybe on my repeat viewings, I will care less about some of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you chose it. I'm glad I watched it. It's always kind of weird to watch a movie for the first time on this show because I feel like I'm not qualified to say whether or not it holds up or not, but to say whether or not it's a good movie. I mean, I've praised the direction. We've praised the themes and the way that they're delicately handled. I'd like to touch again on the acting here. All of them do a great job, especially David Diggs. He should be doing more leading man work. Is clearly evidenced by
great.
this. He's
I want to be
fantastic.
friends with him. I want to be friends with him.
He's outstanding in it. He's really, really good. I mean, he emotes so well with
Really,
everything he
just
does.
a look on his face.
Yeah, he's great. So yeah, I'm going to say it holds up. Good movie.
I love the scene when Colin is talking to Miles' son, and he is honest with him, and he says, "Well, I was gone because I was in jail, incarcerated."
Yeah.
Okay, for so many years, this has just been a black cloud, but it's just something that happens. People make fucking mistakes, especially in this area.
Oh, I think it goes. You live in, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I think he didn't say that exactly. He said, "I went to jail for being a tough guy." Remember?
After he asked him, but he didn't lie to him.
Right.
He didn't lie to him. He said he went to jail, which was super refreshing, because it could be very easy to say, don't worry about it, kid, get to bed. We need to consider people, even convicted felons, quote unquote, as fucking people, man. People make mistakes, especially in this area where you're undoubtedly a product of your environment, plain and simple. Okay. But what we do doesn't have to define us for the rest of our lives. And it's really refreshing to see a fucking movie about an ex-con that doesn't have the story be them out and now they're looking for the next job, the next score, because that's all we ever fucking see when it comes to ex-cons.
Yeah, good point.
This is a movie about somebody who's trying to make their life better, understands their mistakes, is capable of making the same mistakes, but doesn't want to. But you cannot control the people around you. You can learn from them. You can do this or that. And this movie does a great job of not preaching to you while also giving you like fucking 10 life lessons at the same time. And that's hard to do, especially from fucking a couple of guys in like their 20s. Awesome movie. Still holds up. Incredible.
You're here.
I only laugh because you're right. It just made so much sense to me. I was like, oh my God, yeah, wow. That is and a lot of the time, yeah, it's the one last score, one for the road, glorifying their careers. And I know there are movies about people getting out of jail trying to, make. Yeah, I was just literally gonna say that. Yeah,
pick up. Okay, didn't mean to step on your toes.
Pick up.
No,
yeah,
but that was the thought of my mind, Aaron. I'm like, Dennis Haysbert is the cook, short order cook in Heat, who tries to
pick up,
tries to live a straight
time with Dustin Hoffman. Right?
Oh my,
that's a great call. Straight time,
amazing.
That's a great call. I think you mentioned Good Will Hunting earlier, Eric, and I think that's apropos here. I think both these guys, they wrote it, they star in it. It's about a local scene and local times in their local world with a lot of themes similar to Good Will Hunting. There's a lot of themes in that movie. And this movie is right on par with Good Will Hunting. I will say that for the rest of time without a doubt. If someone mentions Good Will Hunting, I will tell someone, hey, have you seen Blindspotting? It's fucking great. It's right there in the same point, if not more poignant for its time, because it covers so many themes and crisis in this country. We're talking about crises, not just like, we got a few issues. These are fucking dystopian nightmare realities that this movie is dealing with, and we're all living in it. So it's apropos. It's 6 years later. It's like it was made last night. It's fresh. It's done so well. It's entertaining too as a movie. It is entertaining. It's thought-provoking as fuck. I love this movie. It will hold up forever. Always and forever. Great choice.
4 holds up.
Wow.
It's
4.
Clean sweep.
If somebody didn't, I would love to sit down with the people who I would think would say this movie sucked. I can already think of them in my head.
Oh my!
You're presuming. I bet these people I know wouldn't like this movie, and I'm already ready to say something.
That's right.
About it.
I'm blindspotting already. Look at me. I'm out of control.
Yeah.
We're calling you out on Cinema 9.
Hit me. Bo the Jammer, 9643. All right, so there it is. Aaron, thank you so much for picking this movie and for joining us on Cinema 9 again. We love seeing you.
Yeah,
it's great having you on the show, man.
Great point.
This is
awesome.
You got your new background. You got a whole new world. It's a lot of fun.
Close your eyes.
Don't you dare close your eyes. I will say, so Travis and Eric wanted to take next week off because it's Thanksgiving
No,
week.
hell no. I'm not taking shit off.
Oh, you're not now?
No,
I
no,
thought.
no.
Oh, okay. Well, then
He was open to the idea.
And I was going to say I'm willing to take
I'll
the
be
week
at-
off, but
I'm traveling, so I'll be taking it off.
I'm willing to give you a chance to get out now, Eric, or we can do the show next week. Your call.
I'm ready to press on, man. I think
All right, let's do it.
people
So-
could use this pod on their long
So
drives.
we'll go to Eric's pick, and then we'll come back to Travis to keep the order. Right? I mean, it's
Sure.
out of order, but it's the same three. So fair.
Works for me if it works for you guys.
All right, Eric, then you're up. What's it going to be?
Fuck. The stringent dynamics of our new policies crushing the friendships. Anybody pissed?
No.
Well, I'm not going to come out with like one of your favorite movies. I won't do horror, Travis, but I think me and Mike could have some fun with this next one because I do believe he's a fan, but I don't remember the last time he saw The Picture from 1997. It's an American drama film directed by the legendary Ang Lee. It is also a Thanksgiving film, which is very apropos. Set in
it
1973.
is. Yeah.
Do The Ice Storm.
Ice Storm.
Kevin
Awesome.
Kline, Joan Allen, Toby Maguire, Christina Ricci, Elijah Wood, Katie Holmes. This cast is out of control.
I'll make sure I
Weird
watch
shit
it.
going
So I
on in
can,
this movie.
I'll make sure I watch it so I can chime in when I come back.
I thought for sure you were going to go with Serendipity.
It's a Christmas movie.
Yeah, I know.
All right, Ice Storm. We'll be doing it next week. Travis, you're going to West Virginia.
Yep. Family
All
time.
right. Sounds nice.
Appalachia.
Appalachia. I will. Well, I'll do something, I guess. Yeah, Thanksgiving's next week, so we'll be back and we'll do the show as we always do. cinnamon9pod@gmail.com. Hit us up. Let us know what you thought. Any disagreements or agreements? They're all welcome. And we want to thank Aaron again for being here. We love you. Thank you so much for doing the
Thanks,
show.
Aaron.
Travis, Eric,
Love you, Aaron.
Mike,
Hey,
we
thank
bid you adieu.
What's that?
Always gotta
I don't
be a
have-
twist.
I got
Man,